This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com. On this week's episode of the Great North Wrestling podcast, we have a Skype interview with former Canadian champion, former Great North Wrestling World Television champion, and former Impact Wrestling star, the leader of the Aces and Eights, Wes Brisco, who is also the son of WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Brisco and the nephew of Jack Brisco. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing great. And Devin, you looking good, man. You start looking like you're going to whoop some ass, boy.
I'm definitely going to be whooping Teddy Hart's ass in Petawawa, August the 10th, where you're going to be fighting Maximum Testosteron for the Canadian title again. It's rumored, maybe you've heard about this rumor, that he's actually getting a WWE tryout next month. So he's definitely on their radar. He's a big, monstrous guy. But you actually had some heat with him back about a year ago. There was some confrontation.
That's where I draw the line. You don't disrespect Wes Brisco, especially in front of all of his great friends in Canada.
No one really knows this, but I'll bring it up now. You guys had a bit of a backstage confrontation. It didn't turn into anything, luckily, for all of us involved. But
luckily for him, man. Boy, yeah. I was ready. Meet me outside. Hey, when you got problems, we got problems. That's how I handle it,
Well, as part of the office for Great North Wrestling, I'd rather you guys settle it in the ring where we could get it on tape.
Draw some money. You guys need to come watch me whoop his ass.
Yeah. So one advantage you definitely have, even though you weigh less, you have the same traps as him, though obviously your traps are really popping these days, but you actually are an amateur wrestler. You have actual amateur wrestling ability, which I don't believe he actually has any of that.
Yes, and I do also have a black belt in karate and kung fu, and I also boxed for 12 years and did Muay Thai for around 5. Max is a really, really strong guy, and he's a really intense guy. But, I've wrestled the most tense guy in the whole entire world, and I'm looking at him right there. Hannibal right there. He's the scariest guy. So I got through a match with you, man, and I've got through a match with Kurt Angle, too, and I beat Kurt Angle. Max, boy, I know you're training hard, but, boy, I've been training even harder than you. So you better watch out.
Now, speaking of you beating Kurt Angle, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, wasn't he, recently? And He had his retirement match. What are your thoughts on him finally hanging up the boots?
Man, I think every wrestler, there comes a time where you need to hang him up, because I hopefully I don't become that guy. We all say that, but there comes to a point where your body breaks down enough where you can't give 100%. And I believe, just like anything I do, if I can't give it 110%, if I can't really give it everything I got, then sometimes you might need to look for another avenue. You might need to try something else. I love Kurt Angle to death. He taught me so much. He took me under his wing. I actually, believe it or not, we have footage of me and Kurt Angle amateur wrestling back in my high school days. He used to come to my high school and do like a wrestling clinic, and there's videos of me and him actually amateur wrestling together during high school, when I was in high school. So I've known Kurt my whole entire life, and he's a great dude, and I got nothing but respect and love for him and his whole family.
And speaking of your fighting ability, you've been a bouncer for many years in the past. You asked me once about my bouncing story, so let me ask you if you have a bouncing story you could share with us.
I mean, I do. I don't know. The record might have been broken because I don't go out anymore, but I used to hold the record for my bar for the most knockouts and chokeouts. So I had the most knockouts and chokeouts of the bar. I had I believe it was somewhere around 3 knockouts. I'm talking about knocking out people cold, not dazing them, not I'm talking about good night. And I believe I had 7 or 8 chokeouts.
Wow.
That was my thing. I went for more of a, because I always would hurt my hands. I'm like, man, why am I breaking my hand on this guy's face when I could just choke him out? Way easier. So I would just go up and just go behind him and put him straight to sleep. I'd set him on the curb, grab a little thing of water, wake him up all nicely, and be like, hey, man, you really don't want none.
Any talks with you in WWE lately? Because they seem to be signing a lot of guys. I know you had a tryout a couple years ago, but then unfortunately you had an injury which kind of derailed that tryout. But you
Real good.
obviously belong there. You have the family heritage.
Yeah, I stay in contact with, WWE. They've been contacting me. AEW's talked to me a little bit. Impact's talked to me. MLW. There's been a couple people that are, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do and the direction that I want to go in. Trying to pick the right decision for Wes Brisco.
What did you think about this Enzo and Joey Janela supposedly fight? But it was pretty pathetic. I don't know if you saw the video of it.
Okay, Devin, you're a fighter, and how dare you call that a fight? With that, no, oh my God, really? Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't, if there ain't somebody knocked out or bloody, that ain't no fight to me, and I didn't see no hands. I didn't see nobody get hit. I saw a
There
lot
was
of
nobody
yelling.
holding them back either. There was
Well,
nobody stopping them.
I saw a lot of dancing. Saw a lot of dancing, a lot of flashy movement, but I didn't see no, strikes. It's all work, man. All of that's a work. I don't believe in none of that. That's just a work.
I see. So, out of all the companies now, is there any that you specifically watch that you find entertaining on TV these days?
Zero.
Well, I'll have to agree with you on that.
Hey, you want me to tell the truth? I tell the truth, I just tell you how it is. I haven't watched wrestling on TV and probably I can't even tell you when. Doesn't it for me, it really's lost its there's no one for me. Like occasionally if I see one of my boys on or I hear about maybe one of my friends having a good match, I'll watch it. But other than that, it's lost it for me as a fan. Like, and I'm a fan of wrestling, and that's like a sad thing is when you're become a fan, then you kind of just not become a fan anymore. You just stop watching it, and then it becomes where it's just like, do I really want to waste 3 hours of my time? I got way better things to do than sit there and watch this. So that's just how I feel about it. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, definitely. I actually, the only time I'll watch it, if it's on in the gym between sets, I'll glance over and take a look, but I won't actually watch it. But I see better things with your time. I mean, you're surfing out there almost every day, according to your Instagram account, if you want to share that for people to follow you.
Yeah, I've been surfing a bunch. I started my own clothing line, my own swimsuit line. It's called Naughty Life. And we launch at the end of the month. And you can find our Instagram at Naughty Life 24/7. And then naughtylifeclothing.com is where our website is. And it's all about surfing, fishing, being in the water, waterfalls, just anything to do with water. We embrace the water. We give 1% back to ocean cleanups and lake cleanups. We're really big into cleaning up the lakes, and it's about jet skiing and just going out there and having fun on the water. So I've been really blessed to be able to start this company, and I can't wait for it to launch, and very excited for it.
And you're also going to be coming back to Ottawa on October the 20th for the Great North Wrestling event there. It remains to be seen if you'll get the title at the next show. But
Well, that title is something that really meant a lot to me because I was the first American to ever win the Northwest Heavyweight Championship. I was the first one. There was no right. I
no,
believe I
you're
was.
the first American to hold the Canadian title in Great North Wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, that was something that really meant a lot to me. That was something that I took pride in. And as you saw, I kind of started out as a bad guy, but once I earned that respect, once I earned that title, I realized how much that Canadian heavyweight title meant to everybody in Canada and how much it meant to me. And so when I got that chance to have that title, boy, I represent me and Canada, I believe, pretty well. And now I get the opportunity not only to settle this grudge match, but to get a chance to win the heavyweight title again. Oh, Devin, boy, put me in. I'm ready.
And you got a warm-up match in Iowa in a couple of weeks at the Hall of Fame in Iowa. I'm unfortunately going to miss it this year because I'm focusing on my training, but I hear you have a big match on that show.
Yeah, I got a bunch of big matches coming up. I mean, I got a big match with the Pope, Elijah Burke. I'll be in Minnesota Tuesday, Wisconsin on Thursday or Wednesday, then in Iowa for the Hall of Fame, that whole Iowa weekend. Then I come home. Then I believe I go to Maine, and then I'm in Maine for 2 days, come home, train really hard, and come see my boy Devin. Great Northwest Wrestling, boy.
You're going to have fun. You're going to be part of this talk show on the Friday, August the 9th at the Civic Center. That's going to be interesting. We might live stream some parts of that talk show, and there'll be opportunities for fans to meet you there, as well as the next night, August 10th. And then, of course, October 20th, you'll be back in Ottawa, Great North Wrestling's first event in Ottawa in 2 years. But to wrap this up, any message for the Great North Wrestling fans and the Wes Brisco fans out there?
Man, just follow your dreams, guys. Like, don't let nobody ever tell you can't do anything. Because my whole life, and I'm sure your whole life, people always tell you can't do something. You won't be able to do this. Don't ever listen to them. Follow your dreams. Keep your head up. Follow me on Instagram at Wes Brisco 19. That's my Instagram. My Twitter is just Wes Brisco. So make sure you guys follow me. I'll follow you back or whatever, man. Holler at your boy. Nothing but peace, love until I see Max.
And one request for me, I think you should grow your hair like your family used to have, like your dad and your uncle.
Crazy.
It's getting there.
It's getting there, my friend.
All right, fans. This guy is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world right now, a legitimate wrestler too. I don't know if there's really too many people that could beat you in a legitimate wrestling match or MMA style match that are pro wrestlers these days. Maybe me or Harry Smith, I would say we might be tough matches for each other. I don't know who would come out on top, but you're definitely up there. So keep up the good work and good luck in your matches heading into the Great North Wrestling event August 10th.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to see all you guys out there.
IBEW Local 586 and the HannibalTV.com presents Great North Wrestling Obliteration. Saturday, August 10th at the Petawawa Civic Center in the Ottawa Valley, featuring 3 title matches. In the main event, the high-flying, death-defying, eldest Hart grandchild, Teddy Hart from Major League Wrestling will face three-time Canadian champion, Hannibal, the Death Dealer, in a dungeon match. The Canadian Championship will be on the line when former Impact Wrestling star Wes Brisco challenges Canada's strongest wrestler, Maximum Testosteron, for the title. Women's Champion of Canada, Lady Yasmin, will defend her championship in a grudge match against former Quebec champion Jessica Black. The World Television title will be up for grabs when Nathan Banner defends the crown against Jeremy Prophet, and 2-time WWE Tag Team Champion Rene Dupree will be in action as part of the 7-match card. Advance tickets are on sale now, starting at just $15 for ringside seats, available at the Petawawa Civic Center reception office or online at ticketweb.ca. Prices go up $5 at the door. More event info is at the HannibalTV.com. Special thanks to our sponsors, IBEW Local 586, the Quality Inn, Petawawa and Pembroke, Mitsubishi.